Hello, everybody, and welcome to Blend Your Beauty event. I'm so excited. For those of you that do not know me, if you're watching this live with us tonight or if you're watching it recorded, welcome. My name is Jenny Fries, and I'm the owner of Starstruck Artistry, which is where we're located right now in my little studio in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. So excited to have you guys watching. Tonight is going to be about education. So that's a big thing that we focus in on at Starstruck Artistry is educating our guest in the studio or when we go on location. Whatever we're doing is education is the key to beauty, I really feel. So a little bit about Starstruck Artistry is that I personally am a hairstylist and makeup artist. I love what I do, and I wanted to bring that passion into the special occasion world and that one-to-one concept as well. I kind of want to mix it all together. So what we do is we mainly focus on special occasion hair and makeup, where we go on location to do those services. I work with a team of about, it's going to be 12 starting in 2021. We have about 9 right now. We're going to be adding on a couple more in the new year. So we went from just me a couple years ago, and now we're going to have 12. So it's really exciting. We're growing. It's so much fun. But for me personally, what I love is that we also work with clients in our studio here in Oshkosh. We can do it virtually as well, which we have done because we had to do, in the past before we could open back up with things going on, right? But what I love is we incorporate so many different services, and a lot of it, like I said, it comes back to education. So we do a lot of consults, a lot of consultations. We do makeup lessons. We teach people how to style their hair virtually and in person. So it's just so much fun. We do wellness consults, skincare consults, all these different things in studio and then virtually as well. I'm starting to implement, you'll see a lot more of these workshops like I'm doing going into the winter months when we're not quite as busy with weddings. I'm going to try to bring these out a little bit more. So excited. I feel so weird talking to you guys because I'm not wearing any foundation right now. I'm just wearing a little bit of eye makeup and eyebrows. So I feel weird talking to you guys without makeup on, but there's a reason for my madness. And because tonight I'm going to focus in on one of our services that we offer at Starstruck Artistry, which is custom blend cosmetics and custom blend foundation. So a little bit about that. So foundation is the hardest product for people to find. And how things have changed now going into, department stores or beauty stores is you can't get those samples like you're used to and going in and trying product out, right? So it's really hard to find that perfect match. Even before when you could get samples, I feel like you went into a store, it looked perfect in the store in those fluorescent lights, and then you get home in your bathroom and it doesn't match anymore. Or you get darker in the summer and you're, more pale in the winter or whatever that is, and you can never find the perfect match. That is the biggest thing, is people just cannot find that perfect match. I did a little bit of a survey. You guys answered questions before you jumped on the webinar. What are you looking for in a foundation? What's your biggest issue that you're having? Of course, the coverage, texture, the color match, all these different things are hard to find, and it's until you find that right one. So what we do at Starstruck Artistry, and this line is being used throughout the world actually, and over the weekend got to be on a conference with all worldwide with people that were utilizing all of these different services and products, and I learned a lot. So I'm really excited to share with you guys. But what custom blend is it's a system where we can actually mix up foundation, liquid or powder. We do other cosmetics as well, but I'm going to bring it back to that foundation because that's our main product that we offer, because it is the hardest product for people to find. What we can do with that is mix it so it's the perfect match, the perfect color, the perfect texture, the perfect coverage. And the other thing is that a lot of people have issues finding a foundation that doesn't make their skin break out, or that they're allergic to maybe, or these different things. So we have a very minimal ingredient foundation. The really cool thing about it is it was actually formulated years ago to work within med spas. So it was for, I'm trying to think of what they actually formulated it for. I think it was for skin grafting. Don't quote me on that, but I feel like that's what they formulated it for, because the skin was so sensitive after those procedures that when they put this custom blend on, it didn't irritate their skin. It was very soothing, and it actually helped their skin heal because of the botanicals and the mineral base behind it. So what we use here, I'm going to show you, is this foundation in these bottles, but we can actually mix them, like I was saying, and get the right color, but there's just different base colors that come with that. So super awesome. Honestly, you guys will have to hear some testimonies, but for me personally, I can talk about myself. I have many clients too that I've worked with that have used this and keep coming back for more, because their skin, not only was it the perfect match, right? But I can actually formulate that. And I've had clients that will come in and we'll you know, mix it up or whatever. And I say, you know what, take it home, try it. If you need anything adjusted, call me back. And I had a client just a little bit ago, about a month ago, she was getting married and she was actually going to take that. I wasn't able to do her wedding because it was last minute and were already booked, but she took her foundation to use on her wedding day because she's like, I've never had a better foundation. She brought it in, she came in, and it was pretty good, but she took it home and she's like, actually, I'd like a little bit more coverage now that after we talked about it and I put it on, can you add a little more coverage? She brought it back in and I can do that. I can mix and add more, take away, whatever that looks like. And I love that about this. So it's so customizable in that way. So that's a little bit about the line itself. I wish you guys could see, I have a whole system set up here. You'll have to visit my studio if you're in the area and check it out. Or we can do this online as well. So it's really exciting. But what I want to do today with you guys is, normally I do these events in person where we can actually be together and mix them up and it's kind of fun. But what I want to do is actually mix up mine for you guys to watch so you can kind of see how it works. I don't want to keep you guys too long, so I'm going to kind of work quickly, but feel free to answer questions as well. So I'm going to jump right in and kind of show you how this works and how we mix up a foundation. I enjoy it. I think it's kind of fun. It brings me back to my hair coloring days and learning all of that with the color wheel. So I'll teach you how that works. But the first thing, this right here is called a custom blend survey. So this is mine personally that I had somebody mix up for me. And it just asks questions. So we just simply go through a list of questions that different things like, do you like sunscreen in your foundation? Do you want a BB cream? How much coverage do you want? All these different things. Is your skin oily or dry? And then once we get the basics down, we can go back in and really dig into what we're going to add in there. So I'm going to go through mine just like how it is, and I'm going to mix mine with you here tonight. I just got to grab one of these jars here. Perfect. So I'm like a little scientist here. So the first thing that we're going to do is add in sunscreen. So the coolest thing is that they do have a small amount of sunscreen, 6 to 8 SPF, but we can add more. What I love is that we don't have to add it, we can add it. So if people have issues with sunscreen, that we don't have to add it in. I have people that are allergic to different ingredients that are in sunscreen, and we just don't add this part in. And the formulation that we do have for sunscreen, it's actually a pomegranate base, which I just learned. So if people are allergic to citrus or things like that, I don't recommend putting that in. But we do use a different form of the ingredient, so we can, most people that do have, I wouldn't say allergies, but if they have sensitivities, it does still do okay on their skin. Like I said, try it out. We can always adjust it or remix it, which is really cool. So what I'm going to do for me is I want a little bit extra sunscreen. I have skin cancer that runs in my family, so I do like to add a little bit more in. So I'm going to be adding just a little bit more sunscreen in here. Get my little spoon here. I don't know if you guys can see me. Maybe I can bend this down a little bit. There we go. I don't know, you kind of don't see my head, but at least you can see what's happening here. So I'm just going to add a little bit of extra sunscreen. So this is going to give it about a 15 SPF in there, just to give a little extra because I like extra. Like I said, you guys feel free to jump in and ask questions. All right, so next is there's a choice to add a BB cream. So you guys have heard of BB creams, which is a beauty balm cream. And what that is it's actually a 5-in-1 cream that primes, hydrates, lightens, firms, and visibly improves the look of your skin. So when I normally ask people if they want this in there, their answer is yes, because who doesn't want all of those things, right? It's going to brighten it. It's going to, make the skin appear firmer and better application when you go on as well. The one thing I do want to say about the beauty balm though, is I love it and I typically add it into almost everybody's, but it does make the foundation a little more sheer. So then if you do want a fuller coverage, we're going to have to go in and add more of the coverage enhancer, which I'll talk about. So just to let you guys know with that, let me pop this over so I know how much I'm adding here. So I'm going to add about a little bit of this in because it is Wonderful. Perfect. Can't go without BB cream. All right, so the next thing I'm going to be doing is the coverage. So I do like a little bit more of a fuller coverage, or a medium to full coverage, I guess. So I'm going to be adding a little bit of coverage enhancer to this. What is really, really nice, you guys, is that our base foundation, which is like this here that I'm going to be adding in, it already has 11% pigment in it. And remember, that's a lot, but we can always take some out and make it more sheer by adding other things in, like a thinner and different things like that, to make it not as much of coverage. Now, your typical foundation from a drugstore, or even some of the other brands that are out there, are anywhere from like 6 to 8%. So this already has 11 in. We're going to go ahead and add in this, which I believe has, I think I just learned 22% extra in there, so it's quite a bit extra. What's really cool is that it can cover tattoos. It has really, really good coverage, because I've used this as well to cover for weddings and stuff. So I'm going to add, you can see it's a little bit thicker as well. So I'm going to add a scoop of this in to my foundation to make it a little more fuller coverage. Do I want 2 scoops? We'll add a little bit more. My thing is, like, for me, I'm having an issue. I don't know about you guys, but I'm having an issue with my skin breaking out due to wearing masks at work all day, and my skin, you know, around my mouth. But I really do want to wear foundation, and I think that it's very important to continue to do it if you're using the right foundation, because you want a barrier between that mask and your skin. Because if that skin is rubbing raw on, or your mask is rubbing raw on your skin, you're going to break out even more. You're going to get dry patches. So if you can put some kind of hydrator, some sort of barrier protection, something like that in between there. I personally do still wear foundation all over, and this is what I would put on, because with all the ingredients that are in there, it's actually healing, and it's with all the botanicals and all the minerals and everything, it's actually going to be really good for your skin. It's going to give it that barrier. The other thing I like to touch on is, you guys, most people, including myself, wear makeup more hours in the day than they don't. So think about it. You're up however many hours a day. You're probably hopefully sleeping anywhere from 6 to 8 hours, ideally, right? And that's the time when you're not wearing makeup. But then what happens the other, you know, there's 24 hours in the day. What happens to the rest of the day? We're probably wearing makeup throughout most of that time, you know, if we're working, you know, during the week or things like that. Maybe not so much as much anymore if we're working from home. But we're wearing it most hours then we're not. You know, so just remembering what we're putting on our skin during that time, it needs to be breathable. Your skin has to be able to breathe from it. And people that notice breakouts or things like that, sometimes, you know, there's a lot of different things going on, but if you just notice like very rare random breakouts, it could be from what you're wearing on your face. That's a good place to start. The foundation, the makeup products, the lotions, things like that. Maybe how much you're touching your face. The other thing I do talk about a ton, I love getting educated on myself and learning more about, is the gut health and how that contributes to everything going on in the skin. One thing I will say, that with this foundation, it does help your body kind of detox out all that bad stuff, because it is good for your skin. So I do tell people anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, you could notice a little bit of a breakouts or bigger pimples or things like that. If it's more of a rash, you're probably having a reaction. But if it's more of just like random little pop-up pimples, it may be that your body's just detoxing and it's pulling out, you know, some of the bad stuff that's in your skin, that maybe because you were wearing not so much of a good foundation, and this helps pull that out because it is good for your skin. So just remember all these different things when you're looking at different foundations. Okay, so off my rant there, I'm going to jump in and finish mixing here. So what I really like too is, not only does this system offer a liquid foundation, but we have a custom or a powder foundation as well. So we have powder, we can mix up anything, loose powders, we can do loose blushes, bronzers, eyeshadows, highlighters, setting powders, all of that. What I love about it is that you can mix the powders into the liquid. So for me, this is the Flawless Finish HD powder. So it's kind of like putting that Instagram filter that we all know and love, right, into our makeup, so we get that all the time. I actually use this as a setting powder a lot on my brides, but I'm actually gonna add a little bit of this right into my foundation. So it's a little trick that I like to use. So I'm just gonna add literally a dash in here to give it a little bit more of that flawless look when it's put on. Beautiful. Okay, so we've got the sunscreen in there, the BB cream, we've got the coverage enhancers like I'd like, and then we also did the flawless finish and that's it so far. The next thing is going to be the highlighting part of that. So what I like to ask people is, do they typically like their foundation to look more matte, more natural, or more dewy or glowy? I'm very odd when it comes to this because I actually have a little bit more oilier skin, which I don't mind because I like a little bit more of a dewy foundation. It's really weird. So I'm actually going to be adding a lot of things that's going to help control the oil in my foundation, but I'm going to add a little bit of the pearl toner in there so then it gives it kind of that luminous kind of glowy look when I put it on. And I think going into fall and winter times, this is something that I love to have in there. So I'm going to do about 2 pumps of this in here. So we have that nice pearl color in there. And if you can see, I don't know if you guys can see in here, I'm going to kind of put some up here, but it almost has kind of a shiny pearl color, which is really cool. Okay, so the next part, we're going to be adding our base color. So with this, this is something that when you first come in and we chat, we're going to figure out, do you have more, or do you lean on the more warmer side of your skin tone, more cooler, or are you kind of neutral, right? So we're going to figure that out and what that is. So what I like to go back to is, what jewelry or what colors look better are you? Do you look better in warmer colors and golds and maybe oranges and reds and all those? Or do you look better in silver jewelry and cool colors like blue and purple? Or do you kind of land somewhere in the middle, which is where I land, where I can wear a little bit of everything. My skin tone's kind of neutral. I can go either way. So we're going to figure that out. We're going to figure out what's going to be best for you with the base colors. There are, I believe, 9 different shades of the base color, and I usually typically pick one so it's easy to mix, and then we add in the toners to really figure out the tone of the foundation. So I'm going to go in with Ivory, which is actually the lightest color. I've mixed mine with all different bases because I can add lighter color toners in to lighten it or deeper colors to darken it. So with this, I'm going to need to darken it a little bit, but I'm going to add this in, and it's Ivory. So we're going to mix this up. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm just going to mix this together. This is always fun when you come in. And I can even really do this virtually as well and send it to you because we can always adjust it. And I can send it in the mail, but it's fun. It's just really fun, and it's even in person or virtually too. So let me see the chat. Let me know if you guys have any questions on anything so far, or maybe any issues that you have when you're looking for a foundation, any questions about other foundations. I don't know. I don't educate myself so much deeply on other brands because I do focus in on Moda's Cosmetics, but I can try to answer any questions at all about different bases or different things too. So just let me know. Okay, so I have this mixed up nicely here. You guys can see. And now we're going to go in and find the tone, which is going to be really, really, really fun. So with the tone, we're going to figure out what colors we need to maybe diminish or get rid of or add to it. So with mine, first of all, we're going to be adding, you can add either something to lighten or darken that base. So I'm going to need to darken this a little bit. And remember, I actually went to a class and had somebody else mix mine, and then I mixed theirs, and I've done this multiple times to keep my education up. But so somebody has mixed this for me. So they asked me all these questions. We went through all this, right? So I'm going to go in with to darken it with a yellow brown. Now what this is going to do is going to darken with warm shades. So I have the Ivory, which is technically more on the cool end of the spectrum. I'm gonna add a little bit of warm in so we kind of get that neutral. So I'm gonna be adding in just one pump of the brown here, or the yellow brown, I'm sorry. I'm gonna mix that up. It's already looking a good color, perfect. Next, we're gonna go in with yellow. So if you can see, this is bright yellow, you guys. I'm talking about when these toners, we're talking about bright colors, yellow, purple, we have white. Let me just go through here, you guys. Blue, green. So this is what I'm saying when this brings me back to hair coloring. This is what it's about, because I have to look at the color wheel and figure out what colors complement each other, and also what colors like are opposite on the color wheel of each other. So people that are in art or, you know, in different things like that know what I'm talking about. Now, for example, with green, red is the opposite. So people that have redder skin, I put the green in, and it doesn't turn the foundation green. It's going to make it more of a cool color, and it's going to get rid of some of that redness that may come through. Maybe you have rosacea or something where you tend to get red cheeks or face, and this will help minimize that, right? So when you're going out and buying a foundation on the shelf, it's not made for you in mind. It's made for the average person that's looking for that shade. So you may have to find multiple different colors and mix them together. This is truly, truly, truly 100% customized to you. Nobody else has the same formula as you. You get to help customize it, and it's yours. And we can change it, which is so cool. So no matter what you're doing, what your lifestyle is, we can change it around, which is fun. So what I'm going to do is be adding yellow into my foundation, and that's going to help neutralize any red or pink. So like I said, the green does do that, but the green is pretty heavy duty. The yellow is going to be a little bit more lighter and not so, it's going to put that yellowness back into the skin, because I really do have a little bit of that, and I do want to make sure that matches. So I do tend to go more on that side than pink. So it's going to help with that. And I'm going to add 2 pumps of this in there. And we're going to mix this in. There is a method to my madness, I promise. All this. Okay, next we're going to tone it a little bit more, and we're going to add in a yellow red, which is right here. And this is going to give it kind of a peach undertone. So I'm going to add in 2 pumps of this one. If I can get it out, let's see. There we go. Perfect. So we're going to add that in. That's going to give it a nice peach undertone. Like I said, I'm kind of neutral. I'm not, I'm using a cool base, but I'm adding warm toners in to kind of give me that neutral color. And I'm hoping this shade, this is the one I've kind of gone, I have different people that have mixed me up different foundations that are completely different, but kind of look similar. So this one was kind of me going into summer when I got this mix. So I'm hoping it's still the right shade. Otherwise we can lighten it. It might be too dark. We'll see. I think it might be okay if you guys can see there. Okay, very cool. We will get this nice and mixed up. Awesome. So we got to this point. I'm going to chat to you guys a little bit about what I'm going to be adding, but I'm not going to add it quite yet, because the next few steps I need to do quickly because it can't sit and oxidize. So what you're going to find is foundation, when you come in, is what I like to do is I'll actually take Q-tips and I'm going to be matching it to your neckline. So you can see here, I will just match it down here, because you don't want, oh, you guys look, it doesn't even, you can barely see it, which is good. That means it blends in really well. Yeah, blends in almost perfect. Perfect. I don't have to adjust it. But as I'm going through these steps, I'm going to, with you, be checking this out. But what I like to do is put it on, let this oxidize a little bit and see if it's the right shade. Oxidizing means that it's just the oxygen in the air is going in there and oxidizing it and making it, it could change the color slightly. It's not bad for it. It just can change the way it works a little bit and the way the color is. So we want to do the next few steps as quickly as possible, because there are some skincare additives and things like that that we're going to be adding in. So I do want to chat a little bit about that. And this is where it gets really fun. So right now we've done the part of the foundation where we truly have matched it to your exact skin tone. And that is so neat. So it's unique to you. We get that, right? So now we get to go in. We've added a few different things, you know, like the BB cream and the sunscreen, kind of some fun stuff, right? But now we get to go in and add some really fun skincare ingredients and different things that is going to help with the application and the longevity of this product as well. So what I love is that now we've matched it. So now we're going to make it for your skin tone. So one of the thing is if you tend to be more sensitive to products, there is something that we can add in, and it would be the last thing we add in. We're not going to add anything else I'm talking about. If you're more sensitive, we can always add it in the future, right? We can add it in. But it's called ultra soothing. So it's actually going to be even more soothing for your skin. If you tend to have more breakouts, if you tend to have more reactions to things, we actually add ultra soothing botanical into the foundation, and it'll help combat any issues that you may have. So it's going to help soothe your skin. It's going to be a little more, you know, softer and just make your skin feel good and not like we're putting anything abstract on it, right? So we're going to make it feel good. It's going to soothe it. It's going to be good. Now the rest of the ingredients I would probably skip for the first time. We can always add in and see what happens. But if you have more sensitive skin, the soothing is the way to go. Okay. So the next thing we can go is look into your skin type. Do you have dry skin? Do you have oily skin? Is it somewhere in between? So what I like to do is there's something we can add in if you have dry skin or going into the winter time when you tend to have more drier skin, you can add in a hydrator. That's going to help hydrate your skin and keep the moisture in there, right? Or we can go in and add something in as oil control, which is what I'm going to do. Even in the winter time, I sometimes will put the hydrator in, but I'm going to go ahead this time and put the oil control. Gotta get a drink of, I'm talking too much. The oil control in because my face does tend to get a little bit more on the oilier side. So I'm going to add that in, which comes in a little dropper bottle. We'll just do a 0.5 milliliter of this in. And I love that. So we're going to put that in. What I really love though is for me, like I was talking about before, I tend to have more oilier skin, but I like the dewy look. I don't want a matte look, right? So I can add in things that are going to give me that look, but control my oils. I could make more of a matte foundation, but give it a hydrating side effect, right? So you can have the best of both worlds. And that's what I truly love about this. So the next thing we're going to be adding in after that is it's actually anti-aging skincare in it. So there's 2 different anti-aging skincare ingredients we can add in. One of them being called ultra firming. So this is going to give you that instant kind of feeling that that tightening effect, I guess we can call it, that you might notice after you put on the foundation within a few minutes that your skin is going to look a little bit more firmer. You're going to have a little bit more of the wrinkles maybe looking a little bit more smooth, different things like that. It's not going to be overwhelming or like a facelift or anything, but it's just going to help a little bit, right? So it's just going to help that little bit, but it's going to be kind of an instant gratification. The next one we can put in is going to be a copper peptide, which is going to stimulate the collagen and elastin in your skin. And over time, you're going to see results. This one is not like a really, you know, put it in quick and see instant results. Like the other one's more of a flash effect. This is more of that, you know, long-term goal of your skincare. That's what I'm going to put in mine. I don't feel like I need a flash effect of an ultra lifting quite yet. Maybe it's in the future. But I'm going to do that. It's called copper peptide. It's going to neutralize free radicals, like I was saying, and help the collagen and elastin build up. So you guys, where can you get a foundation where not only is it going to be perfect for you, but you also get to add in all this fun skincare? And I'm going to tell you right now that the price point of this is a liquid foundation is $50. Sometimes I'll run specials too, and it has all of this included. So you get whatever you want to put in it, you get it. There's no other pricing or add-ons or anything like that. You get whatever's in there, which is awesome. I thought somebody was trying to get it on. My phone was ringing. So yeah, so that's awesome. And then I do the powder to go along with it for $35 if you like that too. So it's kind of fun. We can do one or the other or both. So really cool that way. The next thing I'm going to be adding in is a primer. So what I actually did before I jumped on here is I did put a primer on my skin. This is the Complexion Perfection Face Primer by Motives. I really like it. It's a smooth, silky texture. It's really awesome. But I also am going to add a primer into my foundation. I do recommend using both if you want that really long longevity. Now on a daily basis, I don't always use this primer. I do if I want it to last all day. If I'm working all day, if I'm wearing a mask, if I want an extra layer to help it last, I'm going to go with the foundation or the primer. If I just need to get by, I can just have it in. I will always add it in the foundation for myself, but I don't maybe add on the extra. It's completely up to you. You can kind of see how your face works. If you're feeling that, you know, the foundation is lasting really, really well, maybe you don't need it, or maybe you just need it for special occasions like a wedding or a special event or photo shoot or things like that. So there's two different types of primers that we can add in to the foundation. One of them being Fringe Benefit, which is going to be more for the drier side or balance side. Then there's going to be Sheer Perfection, which is going to be made more for the oilier skin. So like I said, both of them can be used on normal skin, or we can go in and specialize that. So I'm going to be adding Sheer Perfection to help with minimize my pores in there that I have. So that's going to be that. And then once we get all of that added in, I'm going to show you guys how we can mix up a different texture of the foundation. So I'm going to add in these so I don't forget anything. Oil control, add in there. And then I'm going to add the copper peptides here. In. I know I look like all these little droppers, and I'm going to mix that in together here. And I already checked it and made sure it was the right color, so we're good with that. And now I'm just going to add in 2 pumps of the primer, Sheer Perfection, and mix that in. It's going to help it. The primer, what primer does in general is it helps so the foundation doesn't sink into the fine lines. It's going to help, you know, wear longer throughout the day. So it doesn't kind of melt off your face, all these different things. So, you know, just educating on all the different products. There's so many things out there, you guys, and there's so much that I feel like gets overwhelming when it comes to makeup in general. If you're someone that doesn't wear a lot and you literally just want to put on a little foundation or just a little mascara and bronzer or blush or something, go for it, or eyebrows. That's what I love about what I do, is that we can cater to whatever, and we can add on, we can start little and add on, and I never want it to be overwhelming. I want it to be easy, and I want it to be quick or fit into your routine how you see it fit. I don't want it to be something that you dread doing every day, okay? So this is something we can make anything from a foundation to a very light BB cream that you could just quick put on that's very sheer, to a very heavy full coverage. So like I said, very, very workable in that way. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you guys is the actual, let me just tip this down a little bit so you guys can see, but the actual foundation itself is in here. And now what I'm going to do is we can actually add in something called whipping creme. I think it's creme. It's got a little apostrophe on that. I learned that this weekend. Maybe it's French or something. I don't know. But what this does, if you can imagine, is this is actually going to thicken up the foundation. So like I was saying, different textures of foundation, different, you know, obviously the coverage, but the different texture. If you want it really liquidy, we can leave it like this. We could even thin it out and make it thinner. Or if you want it really thick, like almost like a mousse, we can make it like that. So what I love is that you get, like, whatever your favorite foundation is, the texture of it, we can make it. So what I love is actually a little bit more of a thicker foundation. Nothing, I kind of like a mixture, I guess. So what I'm going to do is add about 2 drops of this in, and you'll be amazed at how, I should show you first, how liquidy this is. Do you guys see that? How it's dripping off there? So I'm going to add 1 drop in. I'm going to show you guys how it gets thicker. And it takes a second too to kind of oxidize and thicken up. So now I put in 1 little drop, tiny drop. It's dripping off a little slower, so it's a little thicker. I'm going to add 1 more little drop. And this is how, you guys, we make like eyebrow pomades and lip colors and things like that that are thicker. This is how we do that. Cream eyeshadows, whatever that looks like. Okay, let me see. I might want to add 1 more. We'll see how thick this is. This might be good enough. I'm just excited. I was out of this for a while, but I was waiting for this tonight to remix it because I didn't want to mix one and then have to remix another one. So I'm so excited to be able to wear this. Okay, so now you guys can see it's even thicker. So we can make it as thick as you want. I love that. So I like it a little bit thicker. Now the next thing, this is how customizable this is, you guys. So the next thing is you can actually pick what container you want it to be in. So we have a little jar. We actually have a pump that fits on these that you can do, or we have a little jar like this, which is the one I'm going to use. The one with this does come with a little white seal on it. So you're going to want a plastic seal. You're going to want to keep that on so it doesn't oxidize while it's in there. So you want to keep that nice on there tight. So I'm going to actually be using this one to put mine in. And I'm just going to, I've mixed this up really good. I'm just gonna pour it in. I can bring this down so you guys can see. I'm just gonna pour this in here. Now I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret that I'm doing that I have not announced yet. And you guys are gonna be the first to hear it because I was playing around with it this weekend. But I just purchased a airbrush kit. A airbrush machine, I should say gun, that I can do airbrush makeup with, and this custom blend system is what I'll be using to do that. So I was playing around with it and it's really fun. So I do have a couple artists right now that do offer it. None offer the Motives airbrush. So I'm excited to bring that to the table for you guys. I'm going to be needing some people, models, I guess, to probably try it out. I will be mixing them foundation so we can use it in the airbrush machine. So I'll be doing some, watch for that. I'll be looking for some help with that. But what's cool is if you are a bride and you want the airbrush, you will actually have an appointment to get a custom blend foundation, and I will use part of that foundation. I'm going to mix up extra and use part of it in my airbrush on the day of, but then you get to take home the rest. Mary, you can be a model. I need a model. And then we can try the custom blend out. All right, guys. So here it is. It's in the container. I like these containers because I can like dip in and use it that way. I'm actually going to seal this up, but I'm going to put some on my face, but I'm going to use what's left if you can imagine. So here this is all done. Looks so pretty. It's a nice glass container. So it's really, really high quality and fun. Set that over there. I'm going to now, if you guys can imagine, there's barely any left in here, but this is going to go on the rest of my face, and I probably won't even use all of this, to be quite honest with you. So we mixed it. That was fun. So exciting. I love doing this. If you can't tell, I get really excited about it. I'm going to be using a foundation brush. This is my foundation brush by Motives that I'm going to be using to apply this. What I love about using a foundation brush is that the sponge, if you do use a sponge, you have to be careful because sometimes it can absorb more product than what you're actually putting on and you're wasting product. So a big thing for me, for my clients, is that we are doing things economically friendly for them, and it's going to save them money. We don't want people using stuff and then overusing it if they don't have to, or you know, you're not realizing what they're doing and then going through the product faster than what they need to. You know, one of these containers, these are 1 ounces, which typically both sizes are 1 ounces. Typically when you go to get foundation at the store, they're not 1 ounce, they're a half ounce or less or whatever. The containers can be misleading because they look bigger than what they are. But, you know, going in with, you know, just one of those containers will last you probably anywhere from, I use it every day and it lasts me almost 3 months. So, I mean, it's quite a deal. I mean, think about all the times you're going in to repurchase new foundation, how much you're using. Maybe it's not the right coverage, so you're using more. It's too sheer, you know, so you get this exactly what you want it, so you don't have to use a lot. And that's what I'm going to show you is this right here is going to cover my face. I'm going to try to, I have a mirror over here, and then I have this going on here, so I'm going to try to go back and forth. And I'm going to move this so I don't spill this, because I probably will. There we go. Perfect. Get this out of my way. Okay, so I'm literally going to just use what's on here first. And what I like to do when I apply foundation, and remember I did apply the primer first. I have a little bit done on my eyes, not too much crazy because I'm going to go to bed after this, but I wanted to show you guys how this looks on. So I did do a little bit of the primer. What I like to do when I apply foundation with a brush is go in a downward motion. So we're not pulling it up, because the more you apply foundation and push it up, it's going to go and get in between all those fine lines. So instead of doing that, you can actually pat it on and push it into the skin. So we can do that and push it in and around. And that, what I'm doing, so when I'm like kind of dabbing it a little bit, it's giving that more of that airbrush kind of look, if you can tell. So I just did this side, so you can kind of see. I'll come a little bit closer, bring this closer so you guys can see. But let me just do, I'm gonna just kind of do half my face. It's gonna look weird, but we're gonna do it anyway. So you can see the difference. This is what they do at the department. Look at that. What they do at the department stores, I feel like. They do half your face and then say, okay, you can go home now. I won't do that to you here. I may have you do some yourself, and I'll like do mine, or have you do it, because, okay, so you guys, look, most of the time when I have a foundation, I have to blend it into my neck. That's what I've been doing for the last week, because I ran out of mine and it did not match. But I'm not, I mean, I will probably bring it down a little bit, but really, I really don't have to. So, I mean, I can do it a little bit. My other foundation, I was having to bring like down to here because it was not the right color, and I was using what I had left over. So yeah, if you guys can see the difference, and I did not do any concealer or anything like that. Typically with concealer, I like to do it underneath, but I thought with this, I just really wanted to show you what the coverage was and how it looked without. Concealer, some people say, do you do it before or after? Whatever you feel comfortable with. You can put it on under. If you really want to correct it, put it on under. If you are looking to just add a little bit of brightness, you can do it over the top. So just kind of remembering that and, you know, pushing it in. So I am going to put on the rest of my face, but can you guys see the difference and how wonderful this foundation looks? And my skin, honestly, you guys, I can't tell where that like what side the foundation's on. It's so lightweight and it's so conditioning. It feels so good on the skin. So this is seriously, oh my gosh, I don't know why I didn't mix this earlier. I know why, because I was waiting for today, but I'm so excited about it. So awesome. I love this. So I'm going to add it on the rest of my face now that you guys can see the difference, okay? And I mean, my face really, I don't have too many issues with breakouts. I do have a breakout right about here, and I had some around my mouth here due to wearing the masks around there. I typically don't break out a ton. I do have a pretty good skincare regimen, and I do a lot of supplementation as well to help with that, because I used to get a lot of breakouts on my face and on my chest, on my back too. And I had to get that all under control. And a lot of it had to do with, if you can imagine, eating dairy was a big problem for me. I'm lactose intolerant, and I need to have enzymes to break down the dairy in my stomach because it does not do it on its own. So when I would do that, my face would break out, definitely along my chin line, and say, hey, you shouldn't be eating this. We can't digest it. So we're going to tell you in your skin. So that is a issue I've always dealt with. But now that I've kind of got it under control, and I do some collagen as well that I take internally, that helps too. So a lot of different things, antioxidants, so many different things that we can do to help our skin from the inside out. That's another webinar. I can talk about that for days. So you guys, I mean, I've literally dipped a tiny bit. So your foundation could last, this may last me even longer actually. Because I even put probably too much up there. I need barely any little bit. So you guys, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'd love to answer them. Even if you're watching this maybe on YouTube or something after, feel free to reach out and put a question in or message me, and I'd be happy to help in any way that I can. Like I said, there are many beauty advisors all over the world that offer custom blend. So feel free to reach out to the person who shared this video with you or invited you to watch as well. Okay, so I am super excited. I'm losing my voice. Oh, awesome. Beautiful. So you guys, there's a little bit left in there, but I barely used I mean, I barely used any of that that was even left. So I could do probably one more application with what's in here probably, to be quite honest with you, maybe more. Um, a little bit goes a long way. So I love this. It's a perfect color. It feels so good. It looks good. Oh, I feel better now that this is on. I'm gonna go in and just do a little really quick touch-up look with a couple of products that are not from our custom blend line, but they're from Motives. So I'm gonna use the Banana Luminous Loose Powder to set this because I did not have time to mix myself a custom blend powder. Normally I would, but I just didn't have the time today. And then I'm gonna touch up with this Viva Talia palette by Motives that has, this is what I'm using on my eyes, are some of these matte color eyeshadows. I'm gonna use the bronzer, blush, and a highlighter on my cheeks. So I'm gonna go in with this to set it. I do recommend, people wonder about if they should set their skin with powder or just leave it. Right now, since we are touching, wearing masks and maybe touching our face more than we should, setting it is awesome because when you take that mask off, it's going to be set and that mask isn't going to touch it. I also recommend using a setting spray. 10 Years Younger by Motives is my personal favorite, so check that out. But I am just going to set this all with some setting powder. And like I said, this is the Luminous Powder by Motives in Banana. So it's kind of got a little bit of a yellow tone to it as well. So I'm just gonna set this. What I love about this powder is it's not gonna set in fine lines and wrinkles. A lot of people that have more mature skin worry about setting powder, that it's gonna make them look older, that it's gonna set in their wrinkles and make their wrinkles more prominent. And this isn't the case. If you're really worried about it, check out our custom blend powder because it is actually micro pulverized. So it's going to be even more fine molecules. So it does not even more. This is also pulverized as well, but the custom blend is even more so. So just a reminder with that. Next, I'm gonna go in with the contour color in the Talia palette here with a angled brush. What I like to do is just find my cheekbone and go right underneath it there so you can see. I'm going to add a little bit of color to my cheeks. You can do this with any bronzer, and honestly, you could just do bronzer and not blush. I like to add a little blush and add this just on my lower cheeks. Super easy. This palette is awesome because it is so convenient and you can do a lot with it. I also love to put a little bit on my sides of my nose to contour as well. This is really good for all skin tones. The other thing though is, you guys, if you use any of the Motives powder, any of the products for that matter, but any of the powder for sure, the eyeshadows, the blushes, the bronzers, anything that's powder, it's going to be very pigmented. So you need very little. The first time I had my mom use a blush, she was like, oh my gosh, I used way too much, because she was used to kind of like really dabbing in there and like going around and then putting it on. Oh my gosh, no, you barely need to touch this with your brush and you will have so much. So like these go a long way as well. So I'm literally just going to dab that tiny bit, kind of brush off a little bit. With blush, my key is Smile, and add it to those cheeks. So like I'm literally just dabbing it in there. So just remember that. Not a lot. So just a little color, right? Oh, I like that. I like a little more blush though. I could go. A little bit goes a long way. Just add, you can build it on and add a little bit more. It's easier to add more than take away. So just keep adding a little bit. Next, I'm actually just gonna go in and I'm just gonna use my finger. I don't have my highlighter brush, otherwise I'd use that. You could use a fluffy eyeshadow brush, whatever, but I'm just gonna go in with a little highlighter with my finger and just tap this on the tops of my cheeks here. Gives it a little color. We're gonna need this going into the winter season because we're not gonna have as much sunshine. I'm gonna put a little bit on the bridge of my nose, maybe a little bit here and here. And then I also like to do a little bit in the corner of my eye as well. And you know what, guys, I wear contacts and I really don't have any issues with getting this. Like there's not a lot of fallout in my eye. I don't have issues with wearing contacts. I know I get that a lot as well. So yeah, there's that. I am lastly going to touch up with a little bit of this Pout Plumper. These are actually being discontinued, but this is my like favorite lip product that we have, I guess. But they are on sale. So message me, you can get a whole bundle, I think for like I think under $40. Don't quote me, but I think it's around there. But these are really fun. They're going to be a lip plumper, but what's different between these is that these do not have fiberglass pieces in there or like little, so most plumpers, the reason that they make your lips fuller is because it actually makes little tiny incisions in your lips, so little that you'd never be able to see them, but then it swells your lips up because it's making these little incisions in them. This one does not have that, so it's just going to give you that tingly feeling and kind of make the blood flow go to them, and make them look a little bit bigger but not crazy huge, which I love. And it has that like tingling feeling to it still, which I like. So it makes them, I feel like it's working. So this is in toast. So it has a little bit of a color to it. I have one that I really like called Champagne. They're all so pretty, but some are more sheer than others. They all have a little tiny color, but nothing. This is probably one of the darker ones. So if you can see, it's really glossy, it's not sticky, it's really fun. So these are on sale. These are going to be discontinued because we're coming out with some really awesome new lip products. So that I'm probably going to love more than this, but I do love this one. These are awesome. But if you're looking for some really good lip gloss, lip plumper deals, head to beautybystarstruck.com or head to starstruckartistry.com, and there's a link in our exclusive partnerships to Motives and our site where you can head and check these out and get them. And I will be sending out a discount code to everybody that was on as well, for a discount on some products. So these, I think you can get a bundle of them, and then there's also lip candies that are on sale. So check those out before they're discontinued and gone forever. I bought a bunch to keep in my studio in case people want them as well. So let me know and we can get that. But you guys, I'm super excited for this. Now I can fix my hair a little bit. Now I'm gonna go home and go to bed. It's 8:30 in Wisconsin, but that's okay. But now that this is all completely done, you guys can see how flawless this finish is, how it's still got that dewiness to it. You can see with the lighting hitting it, but it still has a matte finish too, or not oil buildup. So you guys, this is the final look, the final color. Thank you guys all for being on. So excited to have you on. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Thank you. So excited. So, like I said, feel free to book your own custom blend appointment. We can do it in studio at Starstruck Artistry, or we can do it virtually as well. And I can match, as long as we have pretty good lighting where you're at, you can jump on video, or even maybe send me a picture. Video would be best. And I will have the recorded version. I'll put up on YouTube for everybody to rewatch too. But we can do it virtually and then or in person. So yes, make your appointment, head to starstruckartistry.com. You can book an appointment there. There's an inquiry form you can fill out and click customize cosmetics. We can get you in for an appointment. I'll send you a booking link. I'm usually in the studio on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays when I do not have a wedding. The hours are expanding because I am getting busier. So it's really exciting to be in 3 days a week and not 2 now. So we are expanding that, and it's very exciting and fun. So thank you guys so much for being on and taking time. I want to try to make this under an hour, and I think I did. So thank you so much. It means the world to me for all your love and support, always. So thank you, and we will have this back up on YouTube for you guys as well to watch. Maybe you're watching it recorded or live, but thank you guys again for watching either way and supporting us along our beauty journey, and we hope to help you in the future with any of your beauty needs. Thank you so much.